All right, after a week off for holiday baking, I am back to my four color cabled yarn now that it has had the twist set. And I'm going to compare it to a typical four ply yarn made with four separate colors, just so you can get a clearer sense of what's going on. Now, the tricky part with this today is it is an exceptionally sunny day, and that is kind of overexposing the colors in the yarn. The other tricky part is that I used up my original four colors for this yarn, and then I could not get the exact same four colors for my new yarn. So we're not at exactly a 100% equivalence in terms of color, but I think it is still possible to see some of the differences. So let's see how that plays out. Okay, so here is my four ply cabled yarn where I spun a red and a gold in Z direction to the right, and then plied them together to the left. Then I did the same thing with green and gray, uh, made singles spinning to the right, and then plied them together to the left. And then I plied both these two plies together, again going back to the right, and this is how it turns out. There are little blips of color going on, and it's quite a lovely yarn. I feel. I think it's gorgeous, but they're really tiny blips of color. So now let's compare it to the yarn I've been working on this morning, which is a traditional four ply. So to make this yarn, first I spun singles in four different colors. And it's easiest to see these four colors at the end of the four plied yarn. So I've got the same gray, I've got the same red, I've got the same green, but I could not get the amber orangey color. So I used a heather blue instead. And again, this is all Wool of the Andes top from Knit Picks. And again, I was delightfully surprised at how easy it was to spin. So yesterday I made four different spools of singles. And today, sitting at my matchless, I plied them together. Now, this is, as I said, this is not going to be a perfect experiment because that blue is quite dark and it blends into the green quite a lot, but it's the best I could do. If you're wondering why the lighting keeps changing, it's because I'm fiddling around with this pillow sham I've got on my lap, trying to get um, the best view for you. Okay, so this is about as zoomed in as we can get, and I want to get further up on my sample skein because, as always, the yarn starts to unwind itself the closer you get to the end, and I've not set the twist on this yarn yet. Okay, so this is a traditional four ply, and I'll show you in a minute how I set up my Lazy Kates to do four in my hands to do four plies all plied together. Um, Again, all of these were spun going to the right, and then I'm plying all four of them at the same time going to the left. And when you look really closely, you can see all four colors. And it is a very beautiful yarn still. To me, the big difference is sort of how much color you're seeing at a time compared to this strand with the gold in it, that you're getting what to my mind are smaller blips of color. And it's not to say that either one of these are right or wrong. It's just the effect you're going for. Do you want the tiniest blips of color possible, or do you want bigger blips? It's also possible that if I had not used this gray, which really stands out in the cabled yarn, I would have something that looks more homogeneous in terms of color. But you can distinctly see all four colors in both yarns, which is kind of cool. And my next trick will be to weave a zoom loom square with them or to knit them up in a sample swatch or possibly both just to see how they look. So let me get set up now so I can show you what it looks like to ply 4 singles at the same time, because it's a little fun. Okay, the first thing I want you to notice about my setup is how I've arranged my swifts. Or sorry, not my swifts, my lazy Kates. And right away you're going to notice something fun, which is that I had to use 2 of them because both of the Kates I have only hold 3 bobbins at a time. So here we go with 3 of the colors set up on one Kate and the other one set up on the second Kate. Okay, and then I've just got my Schacht Matchless spinning wheel set up with my woolly winder. The first sample I made, I was using the medium whirl, and I wasn't happy with the amount of twist I was getting in it, so I switched to the fast whirl. And I've just got it set up as normally. I'm going to treadle going to the left. Now comes the fun part, which is where I have to get 4 different colors threaded between my fingers so they don't get tangled up before they reach the orifice. So first I'm reaching over to my yarn ends, which is taking more effort than I thought it would. And now I'm going to just thread each color between the fingers of my left hand. I am right-handed. I tend to use my left hand as my fiber hand and my right hand as my drafting hand. And now that I've got that hand in play, that left hand in play, I've just got to maneuver everything with one hand and try and get some twist built up. Okay, and it is slowly coming together. I hope you can see that I am putting actually a fair amount of twist into this because we've got twist energy from 4 different singles going on here. And I'm just always keeping this hand near my left hip to keep some tension between my right hand, my forward hand, and the orifice so that everything goes smoothly on. And twisting, twisting, twisting. Thank goodness for the woolly winder because it's adding everything on to my bobbin nice and evenly. Okay, and that made a big difference. Lightening up the Scotch tension take up. And in fact, because that's putting a lot more twist in. This is one of the places where Scotch tension can really be a lifesaver. So this is a 4-ply cabled yarn, or sorry, this is a traditional 4-ply yarn made with 4 different colors. And now you've seen how it compares to the one made with a cabled construction.